Good afternoon, everybody. We are back with the cruise news because today we got a lot of information for you. We have some storm update information. We have itinerary changes due to storms, and we have complete port cancellations over these storms. Got two storms going on right now, so a lot of information to cover. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to today's video. All right, we're going to start off with Hurricane Fiona. She's currently up there messing with Canada. And they are saying that Fiona is one of the strongest hurricanes that's impacted up in the Canadian area in quite a long time. And like I said, it has caused a lot of issues with cruising. It has caused a lot of cruise cancellations for this weekend going into next week. So we're going to go ahead and go over some of these cancellations. That way everybody is aware of what is going on. So the Port of Sydney, Nova Scotia has canceled all scheduled calls this weekend. Now, this includes Silver Seas Silver Whisper on Saturday, the Oceania Insignia, Celebrity Summit, and the Regent Seven Seas Navigator on Sunday. Now, on Monday, the Norwegian Pearl has already been canceled. The Windstar Pride, the Caribbean Princess, and Ambassador Cruise Line's Ambiance, those port stops are still scheduled. They have not been canceled. They are going to be dictated by the weather, so there is still a possibility that those could be canceled here over this weekend. Now, in St. John, New Brunswick, up in Canada, the Caribbean Princess and the Celebrity Summit, well, their stops today have been canceled already. The Norwegian Getaway is scheduled to arrive there tomorrow, and if you remember, she already had her itinerary changed from Bermuda to go north, and now her stop up there in St. John is in question. Has not been canceled yet, but right now there's a better than average chance it is going to be canceled here shortly, unless they have some kind of drastic improvement in the weather that's honestly not expected. So the Port of Halifax in Nova Scotia, they have currently suspended all cruise port operations, and that is affecting the Silver Whisper and the Celebrity Summit. Both their stops have already been canceled, and more cancellations are expected for both Sunday and for Monday. So yeah, Fiona continues to make a mess, continues to wreak havoc all the way up the Caribbean, now messing with Canada. She's already done damage to islands in the Caribbean, already did damage to Grand Turk, caused problems with Bermuda, and now that continues to move north, creating more problems. Now, we do have some itinerary changes also for Carnival Cruise Lines for 3 of their cruises that were scheduled to go to Grand Turk. We did a story a couple days ago about the cruise dock there in Grand Turk. It was damaged when Fiona passed over the Grand Turks, and now that is beginning to affect some cruises. So we have 3 Carnival cruises, the Carnival Freedom, the Carnival Mardi Gras, and the Carnival Sunrise. Well, all 3 were scheduled to call on Grand Turks. They've had to have their itineraries changed and modified, and it looks like they are instead going to be going to Nassau, Bahamas. Now we're going to jump over to the new tropical storm. We talked about this yesterday. It was a tropical depression, number 9. Well, it has now moved to a tropical storm, and it's called Tropical Storm Ian. Ian is continuing to move north and is expected to impact Florida here next week. Now, while it has not currently yet made any itinerary changes for cruises, so no itinerary changes and no ports have been canceled over Tropical Storm Ian as of yet, it is expected that it could impact Florida within up to 72 hours, and that could possibly affect cruises. All right, so this is the port conditions and categories, and they set these threat levels based on anticipated weather that's going to come into the region. So the U.S. Coast Guard has currently set condition whiskey for Port Canaveral, Port Miami, and Port Everglades, and condition whiskey is gale force winds within 72 hours. Now the ports are still open, and as you can see as you go through the categories, next will be X-Ray, Yankee, and Zulu. So once they reach condition Yankee, that's gale force winds within 24 hours, and the port will then be closed once it reaches condition Yankee. Because while right now it is just a tropical storm, it is expected to be a Category 1 or Category 2 hurricane, by the time it reaches the coast of Florida, they said a lot of warm water in the Caribbean, not a lot of wind shear, is going to allow this storm to build up speed, build up strength as it continues to move north. So I said we're going to keep an eye on it. Everybody out there in Florida, just be prepared, get ready, get buttoned up. So if you have any upcoming cruises that are scheduled to go either to Canada here over the next couple of days, or you have any cruise leaving out of Florida this weekend, early next week, even up to mid next week, keep an eye on your emails, because we have already seen a lot of cruise changes, itinerary changes, ports having to be canceled. And now if any of the ports in Florida close, it can affect all of the cruising and have kind of a domino effect over several days. So keep an eye on your emails. Just be aware of what is going on in case you have any changes or any cancellations. Don't want anybody to get all the way down into Florida only to find out their cruise is going to be canceled over a hurricane, and now they're still stuck in Florida with a hurricane, because you know once that hurricane makes landfall, it can also affect the airports. All right, and that's going to be our quick cruise news update today. As I said, just trying to keep everybody up to date with what is going on with the two storms currently in both Canada and down in the Caribbean. If you have enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It's free to do so. Helps our channel grow. And all it really does is let you know anytime we put out a new video, especially these weather videos. If you have upcoming cruises, you're definitely going to want to know before you go. I hope everyone out there is having a great day. Hope everyone out there is being really, really safe. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.